Guys, what's poppin'? It's your man AB tapping in. I gotta tell you about today's sponsor, Beard Organics. Look, it took Lou 49 years, but he finally was able to grow a beard, but he's doing the smart thing and he's taking care of it, all right? When he goes to the barbershop, he brings his kit from Beard Organics with him. First things first, you gotta use the beard wash. It is no point in doing all this extra work if your beard ain't clean. The foundation gotta be right. Next thing, you gotta hit it with the conditioner. That's gonna make it soft, and trust me, your lady friend will thank you. This is all natural and organic ingredients, so you ain't gotta worry about your face breaking out or no other weird stuff happening. Lastly, you gotta hit it with the beard oil. A couple of drip drips here, drip drip there, and when that light hits your beard, it twinkle and glisten. When you step out, people gonna ask you, yo, where did you get your beard products from? You can point them straight to beardorganics.com. Don't forget, let them know if you buy 3 items or more, you get an extra 20% off. So I don't know what you waiting on, but go to beardorganics.com. They got products and accessories. Go and get yourself right and let them know on deck sent you. Hey, what it do with the business is?
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV show. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown if you're looking for me on social.
Absolutely, man. And I am Spike Lou on those same social sites. Holla at your boy. How you feeling, AB?
Man, feeling good, feeling great. Yo, I went out last Thursday. Almost did a full 24 hours. That's first off.
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
At your age? Your big age? You out 24 hours?
Exactly.
I would have found a bench to sleep on. What happened?
Nigga, I left my car at valet at Sweet Lounge. Man. And we went someplace else and came back to valet and everybody was gone. And I'm like, ain't this a bitch?
You definitely supposed to let them know when you leaving, though. They would have left your keys in the car. I don't believe you ain't say nothing. I
had no clue.
Yeah, they'll leave you. Well, you may not want to do that now here.
Exactly.
Motherfucker would have been gone for real.
Nigga, what?
Hey, it's trifling how they do the cars nowadays, bro. Of course, you know, I didn't experience it too. This shit, it was like 280 break-ins at a Broadway.
Oh, yeah. But that wasn't here, though. That was
No, that was in D.C.
Yeah.
But so what happened?
I was with my homegirl and we out there by the cars and shit looking stupid. So she had to call her brother to come drop off the spare, nigga, so that she could take me to the crib. I can get my spare and then come back. And then it was stupid.
Damn.
I ended up getting my keys back.
I was going to say, how'd you get in touch with valet?
Saturday. I just pulled up there Saturday because they left a note on the door that was like, your keys are with the security at Sweet Lounge.
And security was gone.
So I came back Saturday. And dude knew exactly what I was like, yo, I left my keys here. You know what I'm saying? The valet was gone when I came back. He was like, okay, hold on, I got you.
Yeah, you be lucky that was a good security. Boy, hey, man, you got to be careful. That could have been a scam waiting to happen, nigga. Would have sold your shit. If the security guard wasn't up to, you know what I'm saying? That car right there? Oh, he leave it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I get it to him when he come. Man, I don't know where they were with your keys, bro. Goddamn, cuz, I don't know what happened, man.
Oh,
That's
shit.
Crazy, man.
But yeah, other than that, how you living?
I can't complain, man. I can't complain at all. Just ready to wrap up this year, get to the next one, start getting these goals checked off the list, man. Big stuff on the horizon, hopefully. Well, for sure.
100%, man. Hey, we got an action-packed episode. My guy Drake announces a new tour just after wrapping his last tour. We'll talk about whether that's a good idea or not. Jim Jones responded to D1's criticism, and we'll speak on that as well. And Young Thug's lyrics looks like they're about to be used in court as evidence. The judge has approved that. We'll talk about that as well. But first things first, man, new project came out. Meek Mill and Rick Ross, their joint album dropped last Friday. Sales numbers are in, man. It's projected to do around 30 to 35K. Meek actually put this information out and said, this isn't an L before y'all get to joking because we own the album. My question to you, is that a fact statement? Yeah, if they do 30 to 35, but they own it, is that a W or still 30 to 35 is an L? Is an L? Which one is it?
A L is a L is a L. And leave it up to Meek to try to make an L look like something different. And the reason that I'm saying that it's an L, it's a win that they own the album. That's great. However, Meek Mill and Rick Ross probably wouldn't even get out of bed usually for what they made off this album, even owning it, selling 35,000. Like they getting that to show up somewhere. So I would prefer Meek Mill be real, and I feel like that he would have gotten more eyes on the situation and more people being inquisitive about his ownership if he was like, yeah, I was on a major label. I didn't like how they treated us. Unfortunately, without that machine behind me, it's hard for me as an independent artist to move, as you see. Like he can go into like, I'm the same Meek Mill. Like, according to him, the bars ain't fell off. Rick Ross. So why is it only selling 35,000? That should have been how he reversed the question. He should have threw it back on the industry. He should have threw it back on the game and been like, look, I ain't nothing changed about me. You could argue I'm hotter than ever. Now, I wouldn't say that, but Meek Mill could make that argument, especially with the circle of friends that he has and the things that we've seen him do. He is a big name still, regardless of how hard I may go on him on this platform. He still is a big name. And for him to put out an album with promotion, with those features on there, with the connections that he has, and still only sell 30 to 35,000, he should have put that question back on the industry. Be like, well, why did I only sell that? So,
listen, I get that he was trying to get in front of it because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see the sales numbers until he put them out there. So he tried to pull the Eminem on 8 Mile and let me talk about myself before the next person can. And so he get in front of that before everybody starts calling it a flop. And because let's be honest, what were they expected to do? You thought he was going to come out and do 250, like
100K?
Yeah, no. Let's keep it a stack. Now I will say this though: 30 to 35. If you own the album, is good in 2003. If you're selling CDs and you sell 35,000 and you own it outright, then you're cooking. Facts. You got busy, nigga. Good point. You ate real good.
Good point.
Streaming 30 to 35K, and you splitting it down the middle with somebody else, I don't know about that. We know what ownership can do, man. We say this all the time. We cite the Slim Thug album. He said he owned one of his albums, that Boss of All Bosses. And he said that paid for air, that keep the lights on at his crib. And if you saw his crib, you would get in the studio and make your own boss of all bosses, nigga, and hope it goes well like that. So he said it funds his lifestyle. That was a couple of years ago. I know we've been using an example for about 5 years, but still, it was amazing then, and it is amazing now. I'm not sure if 30 35K still hit like that. Not like that. But salute to them. I wasn't expecting much. This is on par for what I expected. And I actually like the project, which is more important.
Project's not bad. Exactly. It ain't bad music. Like, and you got two niggas that, well, at least one, Ross know how to promo. Yeah, Ross building a lot of business and got stuff going on. So again, I think he missed an opportunity to, and I only say because he was on that crusade. Like he was acting like he had the problem with the music industry. That's the only reason I would say that he should have done that, because that kind of ups his platform and what he got going on in life right now. But yeah, I agree with you. And if you ain't seen Slim Thug House, got some nice, what did Yo Gotti call it? Driveway decorations, driveway furniture. He got some nice driveway furniture too. Yeah, Slim Thug got some nice driveway furniture too off that album that he owned too.
Listen, Slim Thug shit is ridiculous. Back to this album real quick though. The only way I can see this being a W is because they saved a lot of money making it. It wasn't a big rollout for this album. They did 2 videos. Clearly Meek Mill's niece made the album cover, because I don't know who the fuck did that. And I think those features are old. I think the Future feature sounded a little old. Nobody's calling Fresh Montana in 2023, so I'm going to assume that that's old. But they sounded halfway deep. I still like both of those songs and everything. But
some nice songs on the album too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, it's not as if they blew a bag trying to promote it, nigga. Like, I'm sure Dame Lillard and Shaq ain't rapped in 25 years, and he was so hyped. Somebody asked him to get on something, and Dame Lillard probably did it for the free too, man. So look, they did the best they can with the cards that they was dealt. Do we see a tour or something of that nature? Maybe something small, some slight little 5-6 city joint. You'll make all that shit back. And it ain't
small venues. Yeah, small. Yeah, that would be dope. And there's no way they called Shaq for that verse. Shaq had to just hop on there and they thought it was cool. And
he just deboed that shit.
And nobody called Shaq and asked him to rap, dude. Nobody.
You got Shaq fucked up, though.
Nobody did that. All right, man, moving on. We've been circling around this conversation throughout the year, just due to the lackluster year that it has been in hip-hop. So it's been a couple of different forms and a couple of different ways that we've approached this, but we're at it again, AB. Lil Yachty says that I think it was with Forbes or something like that, but he said that hip-hop is in a terrible place. because everyone is too scared to be creative and they're being too safe. Would you agree with that statement?
It's two statements. He said hip hop is in a terrible place. I wouldn't agree with that. Shout out to our on decker of the week coming up later on. That I thought broke down why hip hop is not in a terrible place. Stay tuned for that. And then the second half of the comment is that the reason he believes it to be is that people are too scared to be creative and they're being safe. Now that holds a little bit more credence than the first part. We've said this time and time again, especially this year. Please stop sampling. Please stop sampling. Please stop sampling. And not just stop sampling, because Ross and Meek sampled a couple of them, but they flipped them how they did it, in my opinion.
Yep.
We want people to stop lazily sampling shit, which is what a lot of people have been doing. NLE Chopper, among others. Nicki did it last year with the Rick James joint, which was ass. And a lot of other people, everybody in between. So there's a way to go about things, and I feel like when somebody does something that we hate, it just gets a lot more attention. When you get the whack ass flip of the Nelly joint, that goes viral because of how slaw it is, and because of how lazy it is, and because how big of a hit that was. So it may seem like a lot of people are being, safe, but I just think it gets magnified because of how things go viral now. I wouldn't put that on the whole rap game. I would put that on a select few. And it is an issue. I would say it's an issue with the rap game, but rap is not in a terrible space, man. Lil Yachty did his little alternative project, and now he thinks he can come out here and like he's flying the flag for original music. Like, relax, dude. Chill out, B. Have a seat.
Two things, like you said, there is two statements there. And I think that the issue that we're having in this conversation, where people agree and disagree, is that the terminology that's being used is incorrect. When Lil Yachty says hip hop, I don't think that he means from a creative standpoint, he did say creative, but I think he's meaning mainstream. I think he's meaning the music business. The music business is a lot different, even from when he started. They're more scared to take risk. They're pushing the samples and the familiarity of stuff. We see it in movies and entertainment throughout right now. Nostalgia is what's selling.
Yeah.
I do believe when you say, hey man, people are putting out great products. That's dope for hip hop, because I agree with you there. If I'm lucky enough to find something that I haven't heard and I like it, I'm always appreciative of it, because it's so hard to do nowadays, because the music business isn't pushing creativity. On the hip hop side, it's not hip hop in general, because again, like you said, there are dope people doing dope shit. Unfortunately for us, the fan, it's a lot harder to find nowadays. It's harder for us. The music business doesn't really sell Jay-Z's anymore. Like, the music business don't really, they really getting out of the business of Drake. Like, they wrapping that shit up. Like, it's images, it's social media, it's content, it's all this different stuff that's involved with hip hop nowadays, because they want it to be trendy or they want it to go viral. So when we're talking, I said hip hop meaning the music industry. So when we're talking about hip hop, I do agree with you now. I know I came on here and said something differently before, but I had to define the two things. Hip hop is cool. It's always going to be cool, because there are always going to be dope ass people doing dope ass shit. That's what the culture was created on. Even if it's a lot harder for us to find the stuff. The music business, from a urban standpoint, what we like, what we were familiar with, and what they used to promote, I think that shit is damn near dead, if not dead already. I do agree with him there. I think he used the terminology wrong.
Yeah, it's tough for me to say hip hop is being safe when Don Tripp is 10 for 10 this year right now. Nigga,
most people haven't even heard it.
Putting this, that's the thing though. I agree. People have to hear it. like, if a tree falls in the wood, nigga, nobody's around, it doesn't make a sound. Like, but it's out there. It doesn't mean it's not there. It doesn't mean it's in a terrible place. It doesn't mean it's people that care too much that's putting out stuff like that. Or like the Killer Mike performance at the fucking Motherless on late night. Like, you can't say hip hop is in a terrible place and there's stuff like that that's out right now.
They just ain't selling that no more. Like, they don't sell those type of albums or records or people no more. Like, a label now has seen Don Tripp and they're like, oh yeah, we sold that 10 years ago with the letter to my son. Oh, he's still doing music. Oh, well, let him figure that out on his own. Even with a Meek Mill and Rick Ross, like we just spoke of. I'm sure they probably, like, what, 8 years ago, they probably could have went in any office in America and be like, we want to put a joint album out and got that motherfucker promoted. They wouldn't have had to go through the ownership and $35,000 shit. But the business side of music is completely different, and people are still figuring that out. And as they figure it out, we get all of this safe bullshit from the mainstream. But we still, like you said, and I just said, like, you got to find it. It's out there.
It's definitely out there, but it is not, like you said, getting promoted at all. I mean, it's not. Well, let's be honest though, real quick. Niggas didn't turn on the radio for the hottest new person. Like, you got the commercial shit, dog.
Well, I ain't even talking about the radio though. We had a lot of other avenues, right? So me and you used to read every source, stealing from where we worked at. Like, me and you used to have every magazine. It was a straight hip hop channel. You know what I'm saying? There were places that we would go and see like who was up and coming next. You would get a physical album and you see the coming soon shit on the inside. Like, that would spark our interest in other things. There's no way to spark interest now other than being on social media and having some type of presence online.
I mean, but that's just a new version. Like when Finesse 2-time freestyles in prison, you're like, damn, that nigga, but he's snapping though. Like, he beating his chest, but he's ripping. Like, that's just another version of Up Next in the fucking double XL though. To me, that's the same thing.
But it don't sell as well. Obviously, we see.
Oh, well, yeah, no. That's
like,
true.
Like it sold, like, that shit convinced us, bro. We lived our whole fucking lives from 15 to maybe 25 based off that shit that they, like, we looked at, sold, went out, saw it, concerts, all that shit influenced our life so heavily. And that influence is now, you're right, it's on social media, but it doesn't translate to people gravitating towards it and buying it and having actual, like, the product that we used to have. I think that has a lot to do with it. Yeah.
It's definitely a new day when it comes to that shit. Absolutely. But yeah, just be diligent in when you look at, man, and when you come across something that is dope, please tell somebody else. Tell me, at me, Animal_Brown on Instagram.
Y'all got dope stuff, let me know, man. Because I ain't hear the shit on it. I want to hear
it. Share the word, man. Next up, man, it's that time of the year, fourth quarter. Grammy nominations are in. We have the usual suspects with best rap song, best melodic rap performance, best rap performance, and then of course the big dog, best rap album. What on here stood out to you, man? Any surprise nominations? Any predictions? Let me have it. Pause.
Pause. Jesus. That rap category album of the year. It wasn't too strong to me as it was or it had been in other years, which I hope doesn't take away from the fact that Killer Mike has a hell of an album and should win that easily. But yeah, I was surprised to see the Nas one there. I think that's just a big name and they got it. Why not? It's Nas. Of course, you're gonna see Drake and 21 Savage there, which may be able to. I'm scared for Killer Mike that one may win.
That's the competition right there.
Yeah, I'm really scared for that. The rap song of the year. What was it? Rap song? Let me go back. What'd you think about the rap category album while I pull this back up?
Yeah, I like the rap album. I was proud of Killer Mike, and I was glad that they got that part right. That it does obviously need to be nominated. I am scared for his competition with Drake and 21 because Drake had boycotted the Grammys for a while. He hadn't submitted his projects for several years. And so he finally did this one for whatever reason. And now it's up for album of the year, best rap album. So I don't know if the Grammys are going to be like, F you and let him cook maybe the next time around, or if they're going to be like, oh, we're glad you came back. And he came back for a reason, which was he knew he had a W in the bag. That's the biggest competition to me, with all due respect to Metro Boomin, Heroes and Villains, King's Disease 3. They just gave Nas one like a year or two ago. They're not going to give him another one back to back like that. And then Travis Scott, Utopia, which I do actually really like, but it's too much controversy around the Astro World shit. I think it's going to be between Killer Mike and Drake for this category.
I think Killer Mike going to win it. I think they'll give it to him because, like you said, the history that Drake has. And so I heard somebody bring up a point that Wayne hasn't really had a good history. No one in his little history, like Nicki hasn't, Drake hasn't. So I heard somebody mention that. What about the Metro Boomin being nominated? Did you think that deserved to be there?
That album is cool.
Superheroes, what is it, heroes and villains?
Yeah, it's cool. It's got some shit on there. But no one asked me what I think could have been over it though, because I couldn't tell you that. But I'm good on that though. But salute to him though. He been putting in work. Let's be clear.
He has been put on. Shout out to him for that. All right, the other categories we have best rap song, best rap performance. Excuse me, the Hillbillies, Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar, Black Thought, Love Letter, Rich Flex, Drake and 21 Savage, Scientists and Engineers, Killer Mike, Andre, Future. I say Rich Flex. What you got?
Yeah, and Coi Leray Players is in there too.
Did not mean to skip over my girl.
Yeah, Rich Flex for sure.
Yeah, Rich Flex, I got that too. Best melodic rap performance, Sitting on Top of the World, Burna Boy, 21 Savage. I've never heard that.
It's the Brandy Flip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have heard that. Okay.
Just a dude.
yeah, I see what you. Attention, Doja Cat. I heard that. She was ripping that.
Her album is actually pretty solid though, believe it or not.
I don't believe that.
It's banging on the low.
Spin About You, 21 and Drake.
That's a big song.
All My Life, Lil Durk and Cole, Low, SZA. Best melodic rap performance, Low, SZA.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's hands down Lil Durk and J. Cole. Like they made that song for this category.
Facts.
Like
Dirk
they might perform
bitches, nigga, for this purpose only, nigga, to get that Grammy.
Yeah, Dirk might have him a Grammy. Now they need to perform that there and everything. Rap
SZA
song.
Low is nasty though. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's crazy. Is that on her album?
Yeah.
Have you heard that? Is it a rap song? Is it like some Beyonce shit? What Beyonce do?
Well, yeah, you could maybe say that. Maybe. It's banging though.
Best rap song. Now, this is for the writers. I know we always kind of ask for clarification on this. Best rap song is for the writers, and the other one's for the performance of the song. Attention, again, Doja Cat. Barbie World. I get Nicki Minaj. Just Wanna Rock. I don't believe they wrote that. First and foremost, I don't believe there was 4 bars written. Like, what did they write down? I bet that paper looked crazy. Rock. Like, nigga, you got autism, nigga. You fuck you doing? Rich Flex again.
Yep.
And Scientists and Engineers. What you got right there?
I hate when they have the same ones in both categories, though.
Yeah. Like, it kind of defeats the purpose of having 2 categories.
Yeah, I don't know. Flip a coin, man. Just for the hell of it, since it's about writers, give it to Uzi with Just Wanna Rock. That should be hilarious. Because it is literally 6 bars max on there.
I will have to read what the fuck the bars off for that. And that's it, man. That's the Grammy breakdown. So hopefully y'all check that out.
Hey, shout out to Puff, though. Puff got nominated for Best Progressive R&B Album with that Love album.
Progressive R&B?
For albums containing greater than 75% playing time of newly recorded progressive vocal tracks derivative of R&B.
It's too much to explain. It's crazy. Shout out to Puff. That album is banging. Shout out to Puff.
Chat GPT wrote that description.
Man, I was going to say that nobody made that up other than the computer, bro. Chat GPT, write out best alternative.
Give us a definition for like what? Nigga, give us some bullshit to say for this new category we just came up.
Oh, shit. That's funny as hell. All right, man. Moving on. Your man's AB, Kid Cudi, Mr. Cleveland himself. He's teasing a joint album with, you guessed it, the man of the hour, Alchemist. My question to you, AB, are you here for Boom Bap Cudi?
Yeah, Cudi put out that he wanted to. Alchemist was the producer he really wanted to work with. And then Alchemist retweeted and was like, shit, what we waiting on? And so, okay, this is promo. Got it. Heard you. Yeah. Cudi has a new album coming out or top of next year. Actually, it was supposed to come out right now, but it got pushed back. There are probably, and I'm not mad at Kid Cudi. He doesn't like bother me. He don't get on my nerves. His music isn't bad. It's cool. It's just not my cup of tea. But there are literally 3,426 other rappers I would rather hear on an Alchemist beat right now. And I've got the ultimate cheat code, but I think it would be a moment in hip hop if Jay-Z did an album with Alchemist right now with 11 songs. It would mix the sound that Alchemist is doing, which is working so well right now, because I've definitely got that him and Larry June in my top 10 this year. that sound, if he locked in with Hove, nigga, somewhere off the coast of fucking Monaco, I don't know, wherever the fuck these niggas be at recording, I think Hove could put something together. Now, again, I know that's a cheat code. Obviously, nigga, Hove and Hit Boy, Hove and Alchemist, nigga, Jay-Z and whoever, fill in the blank, I'll be here for it. But I think that's something that they could actually pull off, and it would be a moment, and it would be something that we haven't heard from Jay before. Like, he needs... Like how we talked about Ross and Meek. Like, I didn't want to hear a solo Meek, and I didn't want to hear a solo Ross, but I'll take the joint from them too. Like, that makes sense. I think this makes sense for Jay because he needs a reason to get back in the lab. And without doing a traditional album, it needs to be like a moment. And I think this will create that. But again, I know that's the cheat code. That's obviously cheating. But you, fuck Jay, you want the Kid Cudi and Alchemist, though.
I was going to say my answer for this is really short pertaining to the Kid Cudi part. That's no. I ain't even gonna hold you though. I fuck with Kid Cudi as an actor. I thought you liked him as an artist. That's why I threw this.
Yeah, he's not bad. No, he's not really bad.
I ain't even never listened to it out.
I don't think you would like it, but he's not bad.
I fucked with that Day and Night. That was banging, but that was it. Shit. Like, they was talking about him on that mixtape era podcast that I was listening to. I missed that. I don't know if I wasn't outside or where I was. But I missed the Kid Cudi era. Shout out to our guy Sam G. That's his boy. He fuck with Cudi. Cudi might be in his top 5.
I would love to know where he's at with Cudi today, though. Like, recently.
Has he put
Cudi had a run? Let's be very clear. I just don't know if he's continued or not.
I just wasn't familiar with the run. I want to be very, like you said, clear. Like, I'm not shitting on him saying that he wasn't a moment or big.
For sure.
I wasn't on it because I heard even on it, like I said, the podcast that I was listening to, they talked about, and he was one of the primary dudes that was featured on there. So yeah, and again, he's a dope actor. I fuck with him all day.
How to Make It in America super slept on.
Facts. Y'all need to go watch that if y'all haven't. The boom bap Jay-Z, you're right. I would love that. That would be a moment. You think Jay can still get in the boom bap bag?
See, that's the thing.
He ain't too rich for that now. Like, that's the boom bap, like, you got to get in the gutter. Like, you got to be.
Not really though. Not really, because Larry June not in the gutter on his shit. He on some fly shit. He drinking green juice, organic green juices and shit.
That's true. He the only nigga that pulled it off that ain't though. Because everybody else that I think about, like Bodie James, Griselda,
Conway,
like they be there. I would love to hear Jay do that. That would be fire. I also would love to hear 2 Chainz do it. I know we spoke about this, or it was teased or something of that nature. I want to hear that too. If we can't get Jay, I would definitely love for Chainz to try something like that. But I want to hear something new from 2 Chainz as well. It's similar like what you said to the Meek Mill and Rick Ross. I really don't need a 2 Chainz and Wayne album, but I'll take like the individual shit. That's my personal preference because I'm a 2 Chainz fan. But yeah,
and that is coming out this week too. And the trailer is fire.
Fire.
That was hard.
Yeah, the trailer is fire. That shit was. That was a hell of an idea. But 2 Chainz, we always say, like, I'm sure that idea was 1,000,000% him. 2 Chainz is probably the best marketer since 2010 in hip hop. Like,
I agree.
That nigga know how to sell this shit, bro. He up there.
I will say the song actually didn't sound that bad either. That song sounded good at the end of that.
You're right. You're right.
So I wasn't even mad at it. And the single isn't bad. I'm actually not mad at they rollout right now. Like, it actually sounds halfway decent.
Is the single the song with Manny Fresh and Crit produced?
Yeah. Well, and Juicy J. Yeah, they produced. They forgot them as producers. I don't know if that means they sampled one of the other, or all 3 of them were working on the beat. I highly doubt that.
We wish.
Yeah,
we wish, nigga. We wish.
I highly doubt that, but that song is kind of fire though, and it sounds good on like. Yeah, like I've seen it in like reels and stuff. It kind of sounds good. It got that little whistle or whatever. It sounds kind of dope. But Kid Cudi, with all due respect, take those beats, email them to Jay, connect Jay, get on the group chat and connect Jay and Alchemist together. That I would sign up for. And I think it would be something good because that's a light load. Jay can just do about 10, 11 songs. Ain't got to be no full Magna Carta, Holy Grail roll. He ain't got to do none of that. Like, just give me like the little 10, 11 piece joint. That should be crazy.
Yeah. Just let me go crazy. You brought up a good point there to go back to another one of the topics real quick before we move on. The Manny Fresh, Crit, and you said Juicy J. Like, that was another thing that we got to benefit from when collabs like that happened. Like them niggas was in the studio with each other.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
even adding depth to the album, nigga listening to it, but like, man, I nigga Biddy was this, that, and the third. And like it just used to add stuff to albums and conversation pieces, knowing that people pulled up on each other and actually had some type of interaction, just not shipping shit over email and shit. But that's today's times. But I feel
agree.
like if there was more stuff like that, and I'll give an example like with Cole and Drake. Like niggas knew that they was in the studio together for that first person shooter, so they added to it. Like that made you even want to listen to it more. So
no, I agree. And that's the gift that keeps on giving, because then 10, 15 years later, they do a podcast and tell a fire-ass story about being in the studio making the song.
Nigga. Like I never forget that New York story Cam told about Jay.
Yeah.
Like when they recorded that New York City shit. Like, nigga, that's fire, nigga. Yeah. Or niggas talking about Pac when he was recording 7 Day before he got killed shit.
Yeah.
Back of that. Yeah.
We missed that shit. Next up, man, Cam and Mace. We're talking throwback artists. They've been cooking right now. They were guests on $1 Million Worth of Game with Wallow and Gilly. I've seen several clips, and they actually have been pretty entertaining. We chose to pick on one clip specifically where Cam and Mace, they were talking about DMX versus Tupac and which one would they choose. Both Cam and Mace chose DMX over Pac. Cam's reasoning was that he was in person for the DMX wave and he saw it up close and personal. Mace said that DMX was a better rapper than Tupac. My question, are these takes, these New York takes from New York artists, fair or foul?
These are foul. And these is why I crusade against New York shit and niggas like Mobb Deep and niggas like that all the time. Overrated ass New York people, they try to overrate just because they from New York. Same thing here. No, DMX is not overrated. Yes, he was great, but he's not better than Pac. And when niggas from New York give opinions, they always skew towards New York. It could be a nigga they don't even fuck with. They still gonna take the New York nigga over the niggas from anywhere else. So I guess I respect it because I'm gonna do the same for the South. So expect a bias from me as well. But if we're talking about legacies and we're talking about, blow for blow, who the best artist is, I 100% will have to go Tupac. DMX isn't far behind. Like he was a generational artist, and I remember if we was outside when DMX first came out, that was right up there with 50. That was right up there with Jeezy, if not bigger than those two people. Like the wave going from Mace. That's funny. It went from Mace to actually DMX. But this is just them niggas being New York biased. I don't think that you could get anybody outside of the tri-state area up there that would agree to this take. Maybe pockets here and there throughout the country. Maybe you, because you're a big DMX fan, but I know you fuck with Pac too. But no. I don't see this in any way, set or form. Like I don't see it.
You think Tupac is better than DMX lyrically?
I would put them on the same boat. Now, style, lyrics and style are different.
Yeah, for sure.
DMX had a better style than Tupac. He was more versatile with his storytelling and voices and different animations that he added to the track. So style-wise, but we're talking about word for word, bar for bar. DMX wasn't just like no lyrical miracle nigga. Like a lot of that shit was forward and direct, just like Pac was.
I agree. It was a lot of energy behind it, which like Pac, emotion and energy.
Yeah.
And you could argue the reason I can't put, even though I fuck with both of them heavy, the reason you can't put X over Pac is that Pac came first and X is a descendant of Pac. Yeah. Everything that people liked about Pac, wearing his heart on his sleeve, like, you know what I'm saying? The from the image, the girls liked him, the dudes wanted to be like him, all of that shit. DMX had the same impact. Very similarly, bald head, shirt off. He was just a New York version.
New York version. Of course, New York niggas gonna like it better.
And that makes sense because they probably related more to it. And like Cam said, he was there for it. It's different when you see shit in person. Like, listen, you can tell somebody how a show was, what it felt like at nigga Watch the Throne, or what it felt like at whoever first this, that, and the third. But if you weren't there, it doesn't hit quite the same. Like, you can still fathom it, all of that. but it's just not the same as experiencing it. And so if Cam is there and it's happening in his backyard, then I can understand it being more of like a urban legend, not an urban legend, but it's more of like a, I don't want to say like a tall tale, but I can understand it being why it would sit in his brain and why it would hold a special place like that. That makes sense.
Here's why I don't buy it. Cam and Mace, they ain't young. They ain't young. Them niggas was outside when Pac was saying fuck Mobb Deep, fuck Bad Boy as a staff, record label, and as a mother. They know how that felt too. And they probably didn't like it. And I get they enjoyed that DMX energy more, but I guarantee, like, talk about being there, like, what was it, 95, 94, somewhere around that time? They probably was doing like Children of the Corn shit. They was doing they was
maybe
in the
96.
music industry. They was outside in New York when Pac was going hard on New York. And they felt that shit too. So I don't buy that being there shit, nigga. Yeah, okay, you was there, but you was also there when that nigga was saying, like, nigga, fuck Bad Boy as a staff, record label, and as a motherfucking crew. You was there when he was saying, nigga, I fucked your wife. You was there for all of that too, nigga. You was of age, and you remember what Pac was doing when he was like up. So let's not act like it, like them niggas wasn't around. They full of shit with that.
That's different than being in a tunnel and seeing the whole thing.
He was in the tunnel when that shit played. He was in the tunnel when that shit played, and them niggas was leaving out. Bigman was running out. They was playing, nigga, hit him up back to back to back, nigga. He was there too. Him and Jim. Y'all niggas know what's going on. Stop playing, man. Niggas try to act like nigga had Pac had New York in a frenzy, nigga, when he came out with Snoop and them came through and crushed the buildings. Nigga, come on. Them niggas was outside when New York was made and all that shit, man. Y'all niggas is crazy. I was there, nigga. Yeah, you was there, nigga. You was there when that nigga was terrorizing all your favorite artists, too, nigga. You was there for that, too, nigga. You know what happened.
Oh, shit. Hey, there's some good-ass clips. They gonna make me watch that whole episode. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, facts. All facts. I gotta see that. I have to see that. Yeah,
I like the one where he would call the dude from Live Nation about the tour.
I love Wallow for that, bro.
Yeah, I like when he do that, though. That's cold.
We ain't even got to talk about it, nigga. I got the connection. Boom, I'm hooking you up like that. That shit was fire, man. If y'all know what we talking about, check out that $1 million worth of game podcast, bro. That's what I strive to be in this space, like Wallow getting it done, man. That's a hell of a guy right there.
Yeah.
All right, next, man. Your man's Drake, Jermaine Cole. They just dropped a new tour. They dual headlining AB. He's wrapping up the tour with 21. My question to you is this a smart move or are they doing this too soon?
This is a very interesting move. He just did the Big Dog tour. It's all a blur with 21 coming off of the collab project with 21, obviously. Big Dog dates. Then, and I'm talking about like arena tour. Then he turns around and announces like it was all a blur too. Big as the Wood with hella like shit going all the way to March, and I'm just like, so here's the thing, and I understand this part because he just dropped the album, which he wasn't able to perform much of at the tour because the tour was coming to an end. But this seems like a lot, though. Like this seems like a strange move because are people going to turn right back around and come see him? Now he's not in every city that he did because he's not in Atlanta.
It's small cities for some reason.
Yeah, but he's in Nashville twice. Like he was.
He missed that show, right?
That tour got canceled. That's right. Okay, so that's well. Okay, so they'll be happy about that. But I see St. Louis, I see Memphis, I see Oklahoma City, New Orleans. I'm not going to double check and see where he went for the last one, but I'm almost certain he touched on at least a few of those. Like this ain't like these are Chitlin circuit cities, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, everywhere but Atlanta, apparently. So this is very interesting. I'm not gonna say like it's bad or it's stupid or it's dumb or it's too soon, but it is extremely interesting. I do like the Drake and Cole tour. Like I would be here for that, even though Cole hasn't put out anything this year. So I'm confused. I'm confused. Unless he plans on dropping, does this mean Cole is going to come out? Because this doesn't start until January 18th.
January. Fourth quarter release for Cole would make sense.
He been pumping it
Could have
all
talked
year, man.
Drake
The
in,
fall
and he
off
could
is
have
coming
talked. Yeah.
soon. So
He
who
could have
knows?
talked Drake into it. They could have did some good business. And it ain't no, like you said, the cities are weird. Like they not big cities, you right, but it ain't
Not a
like you
big
always
cities.
look. I mean, but
Cleveland, Ohio. I mean, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, New Orleans. Those are big
I
cities.
say that in this sense.
Denver.
You and I are in Atlanta.
Yeah.
None of those cities on that list I would go to see a Drake and J. Cole concert. I'm not going to Birmingham. No disrespect to Birmingham. I'm not going to Memphis. I'm not going to like the places that like I'm not going to Oklahoma City. Like it ain't no LA. It's not a Chicago. It's not a New York. It's not a Houston.
That's true.
Like that's the
No New York
strange
show is crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and that was a strange thing that stood out to it for me. And I also thought that he said he was taking a break. I thought that he said that he was taking time off, and I'm assuming that's from here to the end of the year, so maybe just the holidays. But I don't know. It seems strange. If Cole has an album coming out, then yeah, I could see where it makes sense. People are always going to go to a Drake and a J. Cole show, so I won't probably have to worry about ticket sales at all. Niggas was already flashing their Ticketmaster shit online today. I see.
Thanks.
So yeah, but I'm just not sure. It something seems kind of like off or different about it. I would say due to the lack of it stopping in major cities.
Yeah, so maybe it's just maybe this was planned, and maybe he's filling in some gaps because it's not a ton. It's not like it's a whole year joint. He said that he will be taking some time away from the studio in order to focus on some long-running health issues and to get right in his personal life. He said, quote, "I probably won't make music for a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I got some other things I need to do for some other people that I made promises to, but I probably won't make music for a little bit. I'm going to be real with you." Whatever the fuck that means.
Are you concerned by that as a Drake stan? That he's not going to be making music for a little bit?
Not at all. He's got
He need to take a break.
Listen, man, look at this catalog. You got plenty to hold you over you got plenty of classics to hold you over until the next time, until the next classic drops.
Yo, I forgot about that last album already. What was the name
of it? Let's go for all the dogs, nigga. I might go just to hear that get performed. Next up, man, Jim Jones, your man's respond to criticism from New Orleans rapper D1. If this kind of happened in between us recording episodes, as news sometimes does, but D1 criticized, he called out personally Meek Mill, Rick Ross, Jim Jones about the subject matter in their music and how it relates to their age and who they may or may not be influencing. Rick Ross responded in a much more comedic tone than Jim Jones did. He took a much more serious approach. Said, man, you got to watch how you speak on my name. I got cousins that don't like that shit. It was a much more threatening tone. I don't know. It was much more serious. My question to you, the way Jim Jones responded, is that fair that he responded to the D1 comments like that?
This is foul. This is foul by Rick Ross. This is foul by Jim Jones. And I ain't going to too serious us out. I'll say that conversation for another week of the books or something. But what I will say is I looked at Jim Jones' comment and he immediately went to violence. Somebody may smack you. My cousin may see you, may not know. And before I get there, did you know who dude was, D1? Have you heard of him before?
Yeah,
what is he famous for?
What does he do? He had
I know he's a rapper, but
yeah, I think his biggest song is something about paying off student loans or something like that.
So
he's like a clean artist.
Clean like your man's, what's the Christian rapper name?
Like Lecrae?
Yeah, is it like
Kinda,
that?
Sorta.
Okay. So that's his bag.
Yeah.
Cool. I didn't know who D1 was. I figured he'd had to have some sort of accomplishment though, because he's sitting there with Sway.
Yeah. And, the song he had was called Sally Mae back, and it went viral in 2016.
Got it. And he's from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Rick Ross response, classic Rick Ross. It was funny. Jim Jones' response is more violent, more concerning. But what I will say is this. It hurt me a little bit being fans of both of those guys, Jim Jones and Rick Ross, to think that they above criticism. I went back and I listened to the brother D1 and he wasn't being standoffish. He wasn't being like, oh, I'm adamant about it. He wasn't on no Nas, hip hop is dead shit, mentioning Jeezy name. Like that wasn't his aim. He was saying, if I'm wrong, then y'all brothers feel free to hit me up. Unfortunately, I don't know who D1 is, and a lot of people don't. So he has to mention those guys' names in order to try to push this forward of what he's talking about, because he's absolutely right. And for Rick Ross to respond like, well, you don't know how many people that I help, and you don't know about the turkey and the chew drives and this and that and the third, and Jim Jones the same way. I've been helping people in this industry for this, that, and the third long. All of that's cool, bro. But what the man said is still correct. Like, y'all still influence a group of kids who don't know shit about the turkey drives or other shit that y'all do, because they not going to look for it. They signing up for the shit that you rapping about. Like, I'm pulling up, smoking a nigga. Just like D1 said that they had talked about on their last song or whatever when they was with Jim Jones or whatever it was that he was addressing. Now, unfortunately, that young brother had to put their name on it to get attention to what he was saying, because he didn't have a strong enough point dolo, isn't a loud enough voice dolo to be like, hey, some things need to change within our community. Maybe how you guys influence kids, maybe y'all could do that differently. But if he just goes and he says that, it ain't gonna get picked up. Nobody's gonna know. So he got to attach those names to it for it to even get traction. And unfortunately, those brothers responded in a way like they think that they holier than thou. Like, niggas can criticize you, Rick Ross. Like, I can go back to Benny talking about we need to get rid of all criticism in hip hop, period. And then Jim Jones saying, oh, well, somebody might smack you because they don't know what they mean. It's your job. And that's exactly what D1 is talking about. It's your job, Rick Ross, Jim Jones, beyond the turkey drives, beyond the clothes giveaway and school stuff. Beyond that, it's still your job to let people who are influenced by your music know how to operate properly, where they don't get their head knocked off out here. And I think that's all that D1 was saying. Like, you got to put a little medicine in the candy. And I see too much candy from you niggas versus not enough medicine. Now, who is D1 to call them out and say that? I'm one of your peers, nigga. I may not have sold as many records as you. I may not be as popular as you. However, I do have an opinion. And I'm famous enough to be up here on Sway and to voice my opinion. The least you niggas could do is listen to him, because he's not wrong. But they got offended for some reason. So,
yeah. So I'll say this. I thought Rick Ross took the approach that he's taken the last couple of years, which was the entertaining approach. But he said, bro, until you've been doing what I've been doing for 20 years, then you can't speak on boss. Like, both him and Jim took it as if he was using their name for clout.
Yeah.
Which is a defense that a lot of people use. You could look at it as a deflection, or you could look at it as this is the day and age we're in, and he doesn't get the attention he gets if he doesn't name names. So it is somewhat of a clout move, but maybe not. It all depends on your motive. I don't think his motive was clout chasing.
there we go.
But that is a defense that you could use, because that's the day and age we're in. Real quick, I do think so. What his whole thing was, Meek Mill, you're the face of prison reform, and on your new song, you're saying you're hiring young niggas to whack people, blah 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 blah. Kanye said this 3 years ago, and everybody laughed at him, but that's beside the point.
No, some people took him serious. Some people took him serious. He just didn't put no names on it. Like, who?
No, he said that he called Meek Mill out.
That's what happens when Big Mill should take note. Like, if Kanye calling you out, this dude said the same thing. And again, I see you with Robert Kraft. I see you with the rest of these billionaires. Then I hear you talking about shooting niggas on the block with Jim Jones. That doesn't sound right. And it shouldn't sound right to Meek Mill. Like, it shouldn't sound right, bro. And I'm not here to critique the nigga bars and say, oh, he should be turned on some Lecrae shit. But at least, nigga, listen to what niggas is telling you, bro.
Yeah, these niggas got real deep. Well, Jim Jones got real defensive. I don't. The whole my nephews will slap you. I don't know what that was about, but
that's classic.
He went way left.
That's classic Jim Jones. Yeah, that's classic Jim.
But he did elaborate and say, man, I don't think he said, I quote, I don't think he went about it the right way, especially talking about people like Ross and Meek. How could you ever talk about people that's been doing these type of things? Okay, yeah, our music is rough, but we grew up in rough places. So when we're talking about these rough places, we're talking about these things that we went through. You don't have to go through it. If you listen to my music is heavy on the spiritual side from the moment I made my album On My Way to Church. I've been battling with demons and my sins from the moment I've been born. So how dare you talk about another person that's trying to help people out here and help theyself at the same time? And you don't know my story. So that was on top of the whole my cousin don't like that shit. Do a slap a dread out here and all that bullshit. I will say this though. D1 is entitled to his opinion. He spoke about how he just lost someone to gun violence. So then when he hears
his best friend
the song on the radio, it hit a little bit differently than possibly before because of the context, which I understand completely. I do think that people need to, and this is a conversation that's as old as time at this point, but I do think people need to separate entertainment from reality. And to think that kids are listening to Rick Ross and Meek Mill, I think is a bit of a stretch.
Stop I don't know, it, bro. Stop. Don't do that.
They're not influenced. Kids not listening to Rick Ross right now, bro. They're not listening to Rick Ross. We're not finna do. They just did 30,000, bro. They're not listening to fucking Rick Ross, dude.
That's fair. Those are two. That's fair. He should have said like NBA YoungBoy or some younger.
Bingo.
It should have been like that. Should have been his target audience. But had that been his target audience, then I would have expected the response that I got from Jimmy and Rick Ross. It really let me down that those two brothers act like they can't take criticism. Like it's cool. Like no one, I didn't hear that brother say one time talking about D1. I didn't hear him one time say they didn't do anything. And these niggas respond, I do turkey drives and coke giveaways and ask these people around me what I do for them on Christmas. Like, no, bro, that's cool. No one is saying that you don't do that or that don't help. That's great. But when a nigga tell you, hey man, I think you could do better by the kids coming up in our generation. Like niggas should be able to take that type of criticism with the types of job that they have. So to even bring it down in a sense, if a nigga hit us up and was like, man, AB Louis, y'all so cool and all, man, I respect what y'all done, but y'all talk too much gossipy stuff for it. Like y'all could be doing more for the kids. Like I'm not gonna say, man, you don't know what we did. Like bro, if that's your opinion and it's helpful to the greater good, then why wouldn't I at least listen?
I might say that though. I'm gonna be real. I don't.
Yeah, you might. I'm saying I ain't speak for you. I'm saying me.
I don't like when motherfuckers do that. But
here's part of what we signed up for. That's what I'm saying. Like you and I've been doing this for a decade, bro. It's a nigga who just bought a mic, who just got his little M track and downloaded Anchor or whatever it may be, and now he feel like, oh well, y'all niggas should be doing this because I can do it and I'm young and energized. And okay, cool, bro. That's cool. Like I can take criticism, and I think that's a place that we need to start in this culture, society, as black man, wherever you want to put it. Like being able to accept criticism and know that people aren't like, it ain't got to be violent. I'm not demeaning you. I'm simply pointing out something that you could do better, my nigga. And I ain't telling you that because I hate you. I'm telling you that because I fuck with you and I want you to do it better. I think sometimes we take criticism as, oh, you got me fucked up. Like, I'm like, nigga, shut up. Nigga, yes, nigga, you don't do enough. And so, okay, so what?
That was the energy that Jim Jones was responding with didn't match the energy that D1 was talking. It didn't match that at all.
And that's why I feel like those brothers are old enough to catch that. You know what I'm saying? Like they should have caught that. There should have been another conversation where, like, even if I do respond publicly, I can have this conversation with you privately and give you that. But publicly, you should be able to acknowledge that and be like, you know what? There's a lot of work for all of us to do. I'd be happy to see what the brother D1 is doing. Like that could be it. And we can move on. And then all the extra smoke or funny shit that you're trying to do, call that nigga and go with it. But it makes people think, because more people are familiar with them than they are with D1, it makes people think that what D1 is saying is bullshit. And it's not. He got a point. They should figure out how to be helpful from that point versus being defensive. That's my biggest takeaway.
Two things. If I'm Rick Ross, if I'm Jim Jones and I'm at home minding my business watching the Knicks game and a nigga just happened to name drop me out of 8 million rappers, I may be like, nigga, what the fuck? Who are you and what did I do to you? That's number one.
That's what you sign up for. You do those culturist theory and you do the albums and you take shit out. You just sent me a video of a nigga going crazy because you took some shit out. Like, that's what you sign up for when you do that. That man is entitled to his opinion just like D1 is. Like, people aren't above criticism. I think that's where we get caught up as a culture a lot. Like, we think that criticism is personal, and sometimes it's not a personal thing. It's, bro, I'm just trying to get some shit to change.
I'll say that, but then I'll also say Rick Ross's response and Jim Jones' response is they responded with what they're doing in reality. They just didn't want to say, my music is entertainment and what I'm doing in reality is reality. They don't want to say that, But that's what they were
Take away from
saying,
the brand.
and that's how I look at it as well. That's just how I look. But again, I'm grown, and I have a head on my shoulders. I'm not an impressionable 12-year-old, so you know what I mean. Who knows what I'd be thinking if that was the case? But as a grown man, because they don't make kid music, so when you're saying that they're impressionable on the kids, they don't make kid music, so kids aren't supposed to be listening to their shit anyway, and that's not their problem if they are. That's another. But that's a whole. We can do a whole show on that shit, but I would be like, nigga, out of everybody you call me out, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? There's a world where somebody can say that. Now, the whole my cousin will slap you shit, he went too far with that.
Too much, man.
That was that was weird flex. That I don't think that was,
that was nuts. But that's Jim Jones. That's on brand. I really think that those brothers missed a moment by not just acknowledging it. Like acknowledging it and explaining themselves better versus resorting to violence or being funny and flicking it away because he's not as famous as they are.
And remember, I told you
real chance for conversation.
Remember, I told you on Breakfast Club when Offset was there, they asked him about, why don't you rap like why are you talking about hoes and just like street shit and like you don't want to switch that? He was like, man, shit. Bro, it's entertainment, bro. Niggas, my audience is young. They will listen to this shit for an escape. They want to be entertained. Hearing about me being married in a big ass mansion is not entertaining. That's what he was saying.
Again, that's a great point, and we didn't get to that before we move on. That could have been one of their responses. That could have been like, that's why I don't know you, bro. That's why I don't know who you are, D1, until you went up there and mentioned my name and said what I was doing that was wrong. Your content may not be good enough to catch on. Have you ever thought about that? So let's have that conversation. Why is that what they like? It's bigger than Jim Jones and Rick Ross. However, Rick Ross and Jim Jones have to be open to having the conversation to get it to that point.
That's
so
fair.
Yeah, they definitely could have threw it back on him and be like, bro, that's why you struggling. I'd never heard of D1 before he did this.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because your content not good, my nigga. So, and then what do they got to do with? So, yeah, that was the fumbled chance of the conversation that would have been dope. Moments like that is what we need in hip hop. We need niggas to put that together. Like Sway should have been able to call them niggas, and they should have been able to voice their grievances and come
There'll
to
be a follow-up.
Understand. You think so?
You could tell the way Sway was listening to Jim Jones. He didn't like Jim Jones' response. I think he gonna connect them.
I'd love to hear that connection in that conversation. That's what we need more of, at least for my age hip hop.
As long as Jim Jones act like an adult with it.
As long as his cousin don't come, we all be good.
Yeah,
Jim Jones ain't finna smack nobody and get no lawsuit, man. Cause I D1, I damn sure would sue that nigga. Man, did you know that nigga the Game beat up on video that time, the rap nigga that was talking tough? You know he sued Game.
You talking about 40 Glock?
40 Glock. I didn't know he beat up 40. He beat up 40 Glock. The nigga he beat up in the bushes. Was he in the bushes?
Yeah. At the Beverly Hills party or whatever the fuck. Long time ago.
Glock? Who is that?
First, he was like a West Coast nigga.
Like he was a gangster rapper type nigga?
Yeah.
And Game pulled up on the nigga because he was talking shit and beat him up. Davidson.
Yeah, he got the best of them.
Yeah, he sued Game.
That's funny as fuck.
He started it and he sued him. He sued him, man.
I think that's when the Game was fighting him and he was holding a phone in his hand.
Yeah, that right there. I didn't know Game got sued for that. I just recently
I know that either.
That's crazy. Nigga, you talking all this shit and I whoop your ass. Now you want to sue somebody. Nigga. So Jim Jones ain't trying to go through that. I don't think. That's my point.
Oh shit. What we got before we get out?
Before we get out of here to these wins and losses, man. If you haven't been following the YSL RICO case, is finally jurors are picked. They're ready to start trial. It's been months. And the judge has ruled, AB, that Young Thug's lyrics can be used in court. Big deal, little deal, no deal.
That's a huge deal.
Did you see the lyrics they talk about using?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it's not good. The Fulton County Superior Court Chief Judge, Ural Glanville. There's no way somebody's name is Ural.
Ural is crazy.
God damn. Said that they would allow prosecutors to use 17 sets of lyrics they have identified as long as they can show the lyrics are related to crimes that the rapper has been accused of committing. That's the important bar right there, and which is what the conversation has been around lyrics being used in court, was that they have to be able to be proven. That you can't take a general bar about some random shit and be like, see, I told you. He said somebody got shot on the block, and look, he were in court and somebody got shot on the that he's clearly talking about that. No, you can't do that. You got to be a lot more, I ain't gonna say specific, but this is where it gets tricky, because if you're stupid enough, and there's a Key and Peele skit about this, if you're stupid enough to be a real life Key and Peele skit and rap details about a real crime that actually happened, and you get hemmed up, you might deserve to have your shit played in court. Like, if you're that stupid to do that, you are a real life sketch, and maybe you deserve to take that L. But this has not boded well for people in the past. You can ask Mac. He's the most famous example of that. He got sentenced to 20 to 30 because he called himself the camouflage assassin. And so the not 75-year-old white jurors heard that and were mind blown and was like, oh, he clearly must have done that. And then even worse, they spliced lyrics together to make one bar that didn't even exist, which is fucking nuts, to paint him to look like the person was the shooter. That is completely ridiculous. This right here, man, I don't know. I don't know if there are any specific bars about, there's supposed to be some ties to Lucci and his mama house getting shot. I don't know. Some shit, man.
Yeah, that's the most detrimental bar, man.
Yeah.
Like it's the actual police reporting that happened when Lucci mama got shot at, because I remember the news being broke.
Yep.
And then in Thug Rap, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was like, shot at that boy mama, I bet he won't fuck with me again.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be tough to get out from under, man.
That's tricky.
That's gonna be tough to get that. Like, should this be able to happen, if they can prove that it was specific to like events, and like you said, then I mean, why not? If you're dumb enough to do it, man, if you're dumb enough to go rap about it and you have done it and they can prove it, it's on you what you get from that.
Yeah, that's at some point accountability got to set in.
Yeah, like if I can't feel sorry.
Case.
Yeah, I can't feel sorry for that, or be like, that's wrong, and on the same breath be like, oh, what Sexy Red does, man, like that's detrimental to black youth. Like literally, bro, y'all running a criminal organization and was killing, like, their bodies attached to this. So you can't support Young Thug and say Sexy Red is bad for society. Like, it don't work that way. So if Young Thug is guilty of these things, man, and they able to prove it, unfortunately, again, he shouldn't have put it in the records, bro.
Yeah.
Like you still, like, Tip said this a long time ago. He said he was talking to, I believe either he was telling Jeezy this or Jeezy asked him about it. And Tip told me, like, bro, if you still getting down, like, you need to stop rapping about getting down.
Facts.
Like that's just the bottom line of it. And I think Jesus said, he responded with like, well, bro, he like, yeah, but I was through. Like, it wasn't no time or criminal conspiracies, nigga. When I was rapping about that shit, nigga, I was a rapper. Yep. You got to make a decision which one you want to be, nigga. You want to be a gangster, you want to be a rapper. Like, it ain't gonna, you can't be both.
Yeah.
Can't be both.
And it's not looking good. But who knows, man? Like, there's ways to get out of that. Like, if that bar predates the incident, then you can get out of that. But if you
can, but
if you got studio session records of,
that's what I'm saying.
That happened the next day.
The day before, like, come on, bro. Why are we even talking about this in the studio? Like, why? Like, I'm the engineer. You was an engineer. You like, hey, you sure you want to leave that in, bro?
Hey, bro, I was definitely.
Are you sure,
nigga, bro? I was like, you sure?
I seen the news today, bro, and I know what happened. And like, you
sure?
cool with leaving this in? Okay, all right. I'm gonna plug you in a little bit further back. Let you think about it one more time. Like, if you want to do it again, just let me. I'm gonna plug you in a little bit further back, and you figure it out. But like that, yes.
That's when keeping it real goes wrong.
We'd be remiss though to say before we move on from this, man. Rollo got out over the weekend, man. Fam Goon is home. All you Rollo fans out there, First Day Out song came out, so y'all go check that out, man. He seemed to be on some positive stuff. He seemed to be talking about
there was some mixed messages
midway.
in there.
Yeah, yes, a lot of mixed messaging in there, but some of it was positive.
Shout out to Rollo, man. Let's get to these wins and these losses. First up, winner loss. Little Kim has a new book coming out in March called The Queen Bee. She says that her book Her pre-sales will outsell the Bible. For anybody wondering how much the Bible has sold, it has sold between 5 to 7 billion copies around the world. For anybody keeping score.
Oh, look, Kim, you don't sell a book the same way you sell an album. You don't go in there and say this is the best album in the world, the best book in the world. You do the Jada Pinkett and you drop the tidbits from the book. Yep. Was you fucking big? Did Faith know you were fucking big? Did you suck Puff off? Like, those are the things that are going to make people pick up the Little Kim book. Telling me that it's going to outsell the Bible will make me not buy it. So, like, just start dropping the tidbits, my girl. Like, do you fuck with Foxy Brown? Was there a fight? Was there beef? Do you know who shot such and such? Like, all of that shit is going to help you sell a lot of books. I'm going to outsell the Bible? No.
Outsell the Bible was insane. Queen B, I will say, it says, according to the press release, it's going to cover her complicated, high-profile relationships, the misogynistic industry she fought to change through sex positivity, the challenging double standards of self-imagery and beauty in the spotlight, and the momentous act of loyalty that ultimately landed her in prison.
Whoever is publishing this book is doing her a disservice. Nobody knows anything about the broad shit that they talking about, bro. We want details, bro. Like Jada Pinkett put on a clinic, nigga. This is how you sell a book. Like, this is how you want to sell a book. Me and Will been broke up for 7 years, nigga. Nobody knew. I didn't even date that nigga when he smacked Chris Rock. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's how you sell a book. She need to hit Jada Pinkett up.
You know what's funny? The Jada Pinkett book flopped, though.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but it unfortunately didn't do so well. Maybe she need to call Superhead up.
Now the Superhead book went.
That didn't know me. She need to call Superhead up. Like that, she'll tell you how to sell a book, nigga.
That's a fact.
I read that word for word, nigga. Whole book, nigga. I think I read that in 3 days, nigga. I ain't
gonna lie, I read it too. I ain't gonna lie.
And cover to cover. Prelude, all of that, nigga. Epilogue, all of that. I read everything, nigga.
Hey, first of all, real quick though, Jada Pinkett did 21,000 copies of her book.
That's a flop.
Yeah. Apparently a massive flop.
Yeah, I guess so though.
It said Britney Spears' book comes out this week. It's projected to do 10 times higher.
It is. You want to sell a book? Tell us about what Justin Timberlake was doing to you. Like, tell us how dirty he did you, dude. You want to sell a book? Like, look, Kim need to start dancing around in her living room in her panties or something like Britney Spears is doing. Like, Britney Spears can show you how to sell a book. Scratch out the Jada Pinkett stuff. Britney Spears will show you how to sell a book.
Next up, Winter Laws, man. DJ Khaled says he doesn't believe in accountants or money managers and pays all the bills himself. Winter Laws.
This is a loss, and I do not believe it. There's no way nobody making the amount of money that DJ Khaled makes is able to. That's a full-time job. It's literally why people become accountants for clients like you, that they can. That's a 9 to 5, bro.
Facts.
So he talking about just paying the bills. I think he was being facetious. Like I cannot believe that there is no one helping him on investment decisions, file his taxes, things of that nature. Like I cannot believe that. I think he's being very facetious when he says this. He probably has like a petty cash fund that he does pay people out of, like the gardener and the people that he mentioned, the housekeeper or the dog watcher or whatever it may be. But that there's no way that you can expect me to believe that this nigga manages a multi-million-dollar business and ain't got an account. That's impossible.
You know what's funny? He said, first of all, he's lying. You're not going to act like you got your bills on auto correct, nigga, for all 6 houses. I mean, for auto pay on all 4 houses. And no, relax. No. His next album, which he dropped a single earlier, a couple months ago, that flop with Lil Baby and Future. He said it's his last one.
Good.
It'll be his 14th album, bro. He said it's his last one. It'll drop top of the year.
Yeah, DJ Khaled is a multi-million-dollar business. 14 albums. We the best, incorporated, like, bro.
Sneakers and shit.
Yeah, like, you may pay those people out of your pocket, but there's no like
No.
niggas is telling you how to make money with your money. Like like you're doing yourself a disservice and even being in this space and being successful if niggas is not teaching you how to make more money off the money that you done made from being DJ Khaled. I guess
Facts.
just like that's just not. I couldn't even wrap my head around this as we were writing it down. Like I don't understand.
He did say at one point he was broke though. He said he didn't know how he
Birdman
was going to
robbed
pay
him.
the last a couple years ago.
How long ago was that?
Man,
I
what
think that's
year
what
was
Ross was
that?
referring to, in that rivals become idols become rivals. I think Ross was referring to that because he gave a little insight. He was like, "You did my boy Khaled wrong." Because you remember when Khaled signed with Cash Money or whatever,
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, "You did my man Khaled wrong," and all of this and that and the third. So I'm assuming that whatever happened with that deal kind of left Khaled out to dry, which is why you should have accounts.
He said here we go. He said in 2015, he said he almost lost his crib after struggling to pay bills. He said he was hustling, not smart. But then he struck gold with his Snapchat antics and chart-topping major Key album the following year. So they said that's when he was hurting. It was in a Rolling Stone interview.
Or maybe he ain't as rich as we think he is. That's why he don't have an account. Maybe that could be it. Maybe
that would be crazy because he everywhere.
Maybe
he working too hard not to be as rich as I think he is.
I couldn't imagine. Yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't imagine that being true, but that's the only thing that statement would lead me to believe. Not that he's smart, that you don't have as much money as I thought you did.
That would be crazy. Last but not least, man, W or L, Boosie was on Breakfast Club. He was asked about doing a podcast with him and Webby because it would be entertaining. He said, if I don't make at least $500,000 a year, then it's not worth it because that's what I make doing Vlad interviews.
Yes. I read this 3 times and I did not feel like that it was right. I read it 3 times when you added it on here. I don't understand how. I ain't here to call my man a liar or nothing like that. But if DJ Khaled ain't got to have an accountant, but Vlad can pay niggas $500K for videos throughout the year, like something's off. Like just don't. Those 2 topics back to back just really make each one of them not make more sense. Like that, I don't understand that. I ain't trying to count Vlad pockets. I don't know what he does off his channel, but if he can pay Boosie $500,000, man, Vlad eating, man. Listen, but why would Boosie lie about that though?
I don't think he's lying. I think he's exaggerating.
What do you think he make off of Vlad?
I'm on socialblade.com if y'all ever want to wonder how much a YouTube channel is worth. They have Vlad's monthly earnings on the high end at $209,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the high end. That's on a great month.
Okay.
So we'll take it down a little bit. We'll say 100. We'll say 100,000 a month. That's being generous. I mean, that's being.
Do they have another number like for the low so we can get an average?
Yeah, but it's 13.
So 13,000.
Yeah. So the range is 13 and 209.
All right, so let's take those 2 together. Let's take the highest and the lowest. 13,000 and 209,000. That equals, divide that by 2. So he averages 111,000 somewhere in there. So if he averages 111,000 and you multiply that by 12.
I was about to say it's taking 5 months to pay Boosie.
Yeah.
And he's got a full staff.
Nah, stop, bro. That ain't no. I think that is 1.3 million though. But that's half. Like, so you telling me you pay Boosie for half?
No.
Like I can see Vlad making 1.3. Like it's conceptual that he can make 1.3 million off his YouTube channel, right?
Facts.
Yeah, but half of that's not going to Lil Boosie. I'm sorry. Like, it's not. Because he pay other people too.
Absolutely.
Like, other people get paid for their appearances.
All the recurring people get paid.
I hate to say this, man. And I love
that was a Jeezy lie right there.
No, I this is what I was about to say, man. Like Boosie had problems before with niggas that was doing his accounting and niggas that was taking care of his money. He might need to take another look at that. Mm-hmm. They telling him one thing. Vlad probably heard that and was like, what? Let me call my you paying this nigga what? Let me call my accountant. The Khaled don't got and see what he paying Boosie. Like, nah. I just don't see this happening. That's not because I don't think Vlad is successful. I don't feel like that. I don't know how Boosie would generate $500K worth of revenue off of YouTube. Like a couple of interviews a year, bro.
He do like 3 a year. But you got to understand that these videos are broken up into clips, and he's got some. And Vlad also has subscriptions. So for $5 a year, people subscribe to get the full video up front. So that's not even counting.
But do you think that he negotiates a deal with Vlad, like Boosie negotiates a deal with Vlad, like I'm getting a percentage of the videos that I do for your channel? Or is he paying him a flat fee?
It's a flat rate.
Because if he says, okay, so then no, I don't believe it. But if he says then, if Boosie says that we've negotiated where you're going to pay me for my appearances and the clicks that I get off the videos that I do on your channel, then it's feasible that those clips generate that much.
Yeah.
Throughout all platforms, probably.
I'll put it like this. His estate tour video is at 2.6 million views.
And that was on Vlad shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he doing estate tours. Like he might got a partnership with Vlad though.
Shit.
So like that. Okay. Now since
500,000 is a lot,
that
bro.
up though. But wait, that's a lot based off specifically YouTube counts. Vlad probably got more hustles than that. So if Boosie and Vlad negotiated a deal at the top of the year, and Vlad's like, I'm gonna give you 500,000. I just want content throughout the year. I could see that. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like if you saying they doing estate tours and I'm doing all this different shit and I can repurpose all of this Boosie content and put it on TikTok or Twitch or wherever the fuck else Vlad make money at, VladTV.com, I don't know. But if you tell me that for 500,000 I can lock in Boosie for the whole year and that video got 2 million, that's feasible. Now since we've talked that out. If it's a partnership thing and we've talked that out like you and I did, yeah. If it's a partnership thing, yeah.
He has 5.6 million subscribers. And that's not paid subscribers. I'm saying just YouTube subscribers. I don't know how many paid subscribers he has.
But the question as a businessman is right. I'm Vlad. Can I afford to pay Boosie 500,000 a year? Yes. Yes. I don't know why. Yes, he can. He's generating enough money he can afford to pay Boosie that a year. Is it worth it? Is a different conversation.
Okay. That's a lot, though, bro.
You and I would agree.
What's funny is,
but you and I would agree that Vlad making a lot of money from this.
Of course, this is gonna make for a very funny interview next time he sits down with him, because he's going to ask him about that.
I gotta hear what he says about that. That is a must tune in of Vlad that I'll tune into. But I do think Vlad can afford that. Now that we've thought about it that way, and it's a partnership, and if Boosie says, well, I'll give you content all year, you just pay me at the top of the year 500,000. Anytime you call me, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna do an estate tour, I'm gonna comment on the latest things. Yeah, that's gonna generate a lot of money from Vlad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
respect. Man, on Decker of the week. We're going to Instagram. Shout out to QC115. He mentioned us in the comment under the Yachty post, like I teased earlier about hip hop being in a terrible space. He said, quote, I think it's a golden era in its own right because now people get to choose who they follow. MTV and bootleggers from New York aren't the only way to connect with great artists. There's probably a lot more GOATs out there than we may never know about, but there's a whole cluster of states who have never got to see some great artists from like Denver or something, and they get to be closer to the people and also feed their families. There's a solid little middle class for rap that never really existed. DJing and podcasts like On Deck TV helped me see and appreciate this type of shit. Much respect, QC115. The middle class of rap, people are sleeping on. People are sleeping on the Reasons, the Nick Grants, the Killer Mikes. Middle class is not a slight. I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way. There's a middle class of music. There's a middle class of content creators. There's a middle class that people are sleeping on. Man. It ain't just the A-listers. It's more than just Drake and fucking Kendrick.
More than mainstream, yes. More than mainstream, and it ain't quite underground. It's right there in the middle. Perfect. That was a great comment. Shout out
absolutely, to him, man. Now put me on something great. What you got?
Something great put on Larry June's Night Shift, brand new album came out. Was it Cardo?
Yeah.
Yeah, full project through him. Very dope. Listen, man, Larry is continuously consistent, man, and you got to appreciate that about the man. I still stand on what I said. He don't got a hit record, but I still appreciate him nonetheless. It's that middle class we're talking about.
Shout out to Larry June. I'm not the biggest fan of Cardo production, although there are some joints on here, and I see he is on a tour of like a pop of doing pop-ups and stuff. I am hoping he comes to Atlanta and does a vinyl signing because I will be there because I need that one he did with Alchemist this year signed immediately.
Yeah, I seen you in that Down by Law video with Killer Mike at the vinyl signing.
I did not stay for that video.
I seen you. Oh, I seen you over there. Man.
I was in line though. Did you see me in line? I was definitely in line.
They had the shot of you in line. Did you see it? You seen yourself on there?
Tough.
I'm gonna go back and look at it. I was wondering
early.
Did they catch you there? Yeah. It looked like it was dope though. That was a dope video.
It was. I'm gonna put you on something that you should be very interested in. Grails on Hulu talks about the founders of Eastside Golf and how they got their Jordan brand. It's a 6-episode series, only 20 minutes a piece. Binged the hell out of it. Very inspirational. Shout out to J Hove. He the one put me on it. Eastside Golf are two guys here in Atlanta that make golf clothes, but like that you can wear on and off the course. Yep. So it's very dope. The parallels between them and linking up with Jordan, who made basketball shoes that were cool on and off the court. It's a really dope series, dude. And if you're not inspired after watching that, then you ain't got no pulse. It made me want to go order some shit from like dead ass. It what it was supposed to do. It made me root for them. It made me go. I'm probably gonna cop the 12s because they on StockX for a good price. I might fuck with them now.
The 12 golf shoes?
Well, no, I'm not gonna get the golf shoe, but they make the regular 12. They did a collab with the regular 12s.
Got you.
They got some cold golf 4s.
I saw.
Oh my god, I'm killing.
Yep, I'm gonna watch that series. I'm familiar with them brothers. They told the story about how Jordan got some of their merch or whatnot. That was really dope. I don't know. I think it was on Earn Your Leisure or something.
Probably.
I can't remember what I heard them on. But yeah, like I like those brothers. Of course, I'm into golf, so I was familiar with it. I haven't watched that series, but yeah, it's on deck, Tiff.
Yeah, you got to watch that. Like just right up your alley. How they infusing golf with it's killing, and they in a wide open lane too, man.
Nigga, it ain't. Now that I do more golfing and like, you know, of course the algorithm gets a load of what you're trying to do. I do see more brothers in the space like doing different things like they just pop up on my feed. But yeah, it is a very wide open lane because every time I go is like, well, I go to black golf courses most of the time, and it's
they there in the series. They on that same one,
the one that we went to.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it was the brother that started, like the dude that runs that golf course. His dad is like the godfather of black golf. Like he had a dope ass interview on our boy podcast Vince While Black.
Yep.
The guy that was over there, the whole shop over there, we went and played at. But yeah, like most of the time I go out, it's brothers over there. There's always brothers. Like you said, the apparel lane is wide open for us not to be out there looking like old white men. So yeah, I love it. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, man, highly recommend that. Make sure you guys subscribe and comment. youtube.com/OnDayTV show. Make sure you guys, it's holiday season coming up around the corner. Make sure you go to beardorganics.com. Pick you or someone else you know up something to get their beard game all the way together as well. What else, man, before we get out of here?
That's it, man. Those Beard Organic numbers are going crazy. We appreciate you guys supporting it. We're going to be some more pages up in support of that pretty soon, where you guys can get some deals and things like that through being listeners of the On Deck TV podcast. But until then, go support the brand. Strong brothers over there behind that and running it. So yeah, dope partnership that we've figured out with them, and we want to do much more, but we want you guys to support it. So I'm glad you brought it up, AB. That's it, man. Appreciate y'all checking it out.
Absolutely, man. We out.